Welcome to CEO Club's webinar. Today's webinar is on member initiative and knowledge sharing. We will have 3 sessions in where our experts will talk about increasing the organization's efficiency, profitability, future of agriculture, and a budget-friendly interior design. We have 3 valuable members who will be sharing their thoughts and presentation. As a CEO Club, which is the largest business organization, stay close to our CEOs and would like to share guidance and best practices to help each of you driving your business through the coronavirus and prepare for the post-COVID era. In today's webinar, like I say, it will be 3 valued CEO Club members and experts who are the expert in their field, who will be sharing their insight about different topics. So I want to share those 3 topics first to you. The first topic would be increasing the organization's efficiency, performance, and proficiency, revenue, and profitability. And this will be presented by Mr. Tamer Mitwally, the CEO of AUSSIE Consulting. In the topic, he will be focused on the business vision, mission, objectives, and goals by determining the gaps in the organization operation, employees' performance, aim to have the right strategies in place, increase the organization efficiency, performance, visibility, market share, revenue, profitability, in addition to decrease overheads, staff turnover, and the operation running cost. Therefore, having a precious business, financial model, marketing, and sales plans are critical to achieving these goals. Further, he will be talking training and coaching are critical factors to ensure employees that have the most updated techniques and information and the sustainability for the market change, such as the COVID-19. Then the second topic that we will be discussing today would be Advanta seeds shaping the future of agriculture. Very important, by Mr. Bhupen, CEO of Advanta Seeds. The role of Advanta is a progressive and agro-tech company that is adopting a rapidly increasing food insecurity and climate change. And the third that we will be talking today is a budget-friendly interior design project, insight and implementation on post-COVID-19. And this would be by Ms. Priyaa Telavvane, the founder and managing partner of 361-degree Design Solutions. So these are the 3 topics that we will be covering from different individuals. I do request all the participants that we will be having a Q&A session at the end of the 3rd presentation. So please do write your Q&A in your chat box, and we like to hear from all the participants any thoughts or any questions that you have with these speakers for today. So I will start with the first topic, which is, I say, that increasing the organization efficiency, performance, and revenue and profitability by Mr. Tamer, who is the CEO of AUSSIE Consulting. But let me share with you Mr. Tamer. He's an award-winning Australian senior business strategist, certified CEO, backed by 25 years record of diversified, high-impact experience achievements in senior management role across different organizations in the construction, e-commerce, import-export, financial investment, healthcare, hospitality, insurance, real estate, transport, and wealth management sector. And an expert executive strategist with proven success designing and launching winning business development management strategies and delivering competitive advantages to different organizations. So we all are looking forward. So I hand over to Mr. Tamer for his presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tariq. Much appreciated for the introduction, and thank you for giving this opportunity. Now, ladies and gentlemen, obviously now you know what I do. I'm actually obviously the CEO of AUSSIE Consulting. And I would like to obviously, just as Dr. Tariq, basically my expertise is basically in business strategies. and this is what is my strategy or my niche. And the main thing that I try to always achieve is a competitive advantage. And what we should all want to do or to achieve for any of our organization is to be competitive. And to do that, we need to have the competitive advantage. We need to determine and need to establish, that having that competitive advantage for our organization, which I'll explain more on that during our presentation. Now, the first thing I would like to start with is that having the right business strategy is crucial, because this is really important for you to increase your efficiency, your performances, your revenue, and your profit. Having the wrong strategy initially, it will cost you a lot of money, and it may even go through liquidation. So having the right strategy right from the start is crucial. Now, the way that we actually do that is very important. There's actually steps, but I want to just go through a couple of things. Is the first thing that we actually do is we got to actually determine the risks, and we got to actually do a lot of investigation by conducting our due diligence. We got to making sure that we speak to our experts in the different fields. We also making sure that if we need to have finance instruments or loans to determine our cash flows in relation to our finance, we need to making sure that we understand the fraud schemes or the fraud trends that's happening in the industry, because again, could also cost you a lot of money. Keeping up to date with the frauds into your specific industry. Example, I've been involved with the export-import, and the fraud schemes, it gets updated, and we have actually a monthly newsletter of the fraud schemes that's happening or that has actually happened in the last month. So in your industry, you need to be aware of the frauds, and you need to have strategies in place to protect yourself and your businesses. Now, the other thing is also having limit access to confidential information. Now, in your organization, you're going to have employees, certain stakeholders that are able to have access to private information. So you need to allow a particular person, for example, to have access for finance, for example, rather than having anybody from your employees or stakeholder can actually have access to your finance or confidential information, because anybody having that confidential information may cause, again, damage or increase the risk to your business itself. The other thing that you also need to be aware of is that ensuring there's no discrepancies in your documents. Again, if there is actually discrepancies, you're going to cause errors, and again, it'll cause a lot of financial losses. Okay, so these are a couple of things that I just wanted to emphasize on, especially when we're talking about risk management strategies itself. The next slide that I actually want to talk about and I want to emphasize is due diligence. Now, whenever you're actually conducting any strategy, you need to conduct a lot of research of the market, a lot of research on the industry, the product, your competitors, the frauds, and making sure that you have reliable data. Your resources that you get that information from is crucial. And because what happened, once you get that data, and assuming this data has been obtained from reliable resources, then what we can then go to the next step and analyze that data, okay? And therefore, then we can come up with basically a good vision statement, a mission, a value, objectives, and then we can actually have a direction of how the business is going to head from there. Now, as we're going extending to what I just said before, obtaining the right data from the correct resources, this is a underlining, and I want to emphasize the correct resources, because there's many resources that may provide incorrect information. But assuming that you've gone through the right channels and you've obtained the right data, then what you require to do is basically data analysis and conducting a strategy formulation. And I would highly recommend you using some of the tools, as actually mentioned, such as the SWOT analysis, PESTO analysis, and metrics such as basically TOES metrics, space metrics, your Boston Consulting Group, your competitive profile metrics, you've got your space metrics, internal, external metrics, your grand strategy matrix, and your quantitative strategy planning matrix. Each of these metrics will give you a certain result of what strategy that you need to conduct for your business. Obviously, as a business strategist, that's our expertise. So we actually use these as tools for us whenever we actually conduct a business plan, or whenever we're actually conducting a marketing plan or a financial plan or a sales plan, and making sure that we actually enter our data that we actually have obtained into these analysis and into these metrics, and come up with basically a result. And from there, we can then formulate a strategy. Okay, so really, these are some important tools. You don't have to use them all, but obviously these are what I would highly recommend as a business strategist, and that's what we've been using in our businesses as well. Part of the businesses that we actually offer as a AUSSIE Consulting, we actually offer these business strategies and data analysis. So we actually also have basically a system in place where we can actually analyze the data that you have actually obtained from your business, and basically using our metrics and analysis come up with a certain strategy and conduct basically a business plan, or a marketing plan or a sales plan, to making sure to achieve the final goal of increasing efficiency, performances, and obviously revenue. And the most important part is actually profit, and therefore you have this continuous growing through the business itself. The other thing that we also do focus on as with AUSSIE Consulting is in relation to increase your performances and your proficiency is actually internal business audits. So what you require, or we can do that for you, is basically going through each of your departments, such as, for example, finance department, operation, marketing, any of these departments or all of these departments, depending where the gap is, and basically determining the issues in that department and coming up with a strategy, okay, to obviously to overcome that weaknesses and turning that weaknesses into a strength. And this is what really the next slide is all about, is basically with every organization, there always will be a gap that will have an impact on the performances, or have an impact on the efficiency, and therefore that will have also an impact on the revenue and the profits. So by you actually conducting these audits and determining the gap, you basically, as a doctor, you found actually the disease itself. Then what you need to do is find the cure to treat that. And in a business, it's very basically the same. So what you need to do is you need to determine the gap, and you need to determine the gap from which department itself and why is being caused. Then what you need to do then is actually formulate a strategy to obviously minimize that gap, or ultimately to eliminate the gap. I mean, there's some stages where you cannot eliminate it completely, but you can minimize it. Obviously, the best result to eliminate it, but unfortunately, in some cases, you cannot. So therefore, when you do that, obviously, you can increase the employees' performances, efficiencies, and again, that will also increase the revenue, and therefore the profit will increase as well. Now, very important part of this process is an intensive research and investigation needs to be conducted, okay? And it comes back to what is the issue initially. If you cannot find where the issue is, then you got to start from basically step number one and literally audit every single department. Okay, so you'll focus on the financial department, you'll focus on the marketing department, you'll focus on the operation, and so on, until you find the gap itself. Then you'll basically be able to then determine a strategy for that using basic data analysis and the metrics that we actually gone through. And the whole point of this is basically to ensure that we actually have an increase in efficiency, performances, proficiency, viability, and obviously in turn that will increase the market share, revenue, and profits. The main thing that we also wanted to do, part of investigation, is to decrease the business overheads. So again, through the research and the data that we have through our internal, the recordings itself, we can then determine where is the cost and how can we actually cut those costs down. And also in turn, we can also cut down actually the staff turnover and also the operation running costs, because that will have an impact on the revenue and the profit itself. Now, the thing that also I would like to mention as well, being a business strategist, and especially we're going through this difficult time as all businesses are going through, or maybe majority of the businesses, because some businesses I know, especially in e-commerce, are not going through a difficult situation. But a majority of the businesses at the moment, what's happening is that their businesses are suffering because they don't have a strategy to overcome this COVID-19, where we actually can conduct a strategy to overcome this COVID-19 itself. Okay, so this is basically our plan from that perspective. The next thing that I actually want to focus on is the implementation and monitoring review. Once you actually determine the gap, and once we actually have conducted your research and you've got your data, you've analyzed the data, you've used your data analysis and the metrics, and you basically, you formulated a strategy, you implement that strategy. But that's not end of the story. That is not it. The most important point where a lot of business strategies do fail is that they actually don't monitor and review. So the implementation you implement, but you need to monitor and review. That is a crucial part. So you need to monitor monthly or every 3 months per quarter, but you need to monitor, and you're making sure you make a comparison to making sure that you are meeting your KPIs. And so this is really important from that perspective, okay? Part of us as an assurance of success is that, that we can also offer, once if you actually got to conduct a strategy and gets implemented, what we actually do then is basically monitor that strategy itself. And we provide assurance of success by monitoring that strategy between 6 to 12 months to making sure that we are meeting the KPIs as per our business plan that we actually conducted. Okay. The other thing that we also notice from a business strategy perspective is that the majority of the cases where we've seen the gap, and again, I said I'm talking about for majority of the cases, not all the cases, where the performances of employees is the gap. Either they have not been trained or they're not competent in certain tasks. And this is where training and coaching is crucial, okay? So where you actually train and coach employees and making sure that you provide and sort of close the gap of for these employees, that will help a lot of things, okay? So this is where I would actually have in the past experience the lack of performances from employees, or the certain softwares that don't have enough training, or the certain tasks that they don't know how to do in the most efficient way, where training or coaching these employees really obviously minimizes that gap, or sometimes even eliminates the gap completely. Okay, and this is where we also, as an organization in UAE, we actually provide also custom-made courses to meet the employees' requirement in relation to what is the gap is, and basically have customized courses to close the gap, and also to meet also the employees' needs, because they may have a certain budget or a certain duration as well. Okay. The thing that we also do as a AUSSIE Consulting, we do our training face-to-face, and we also do it online. So you have the luxury of both. And the whole purpose of this, once we actually conducted our business strategy, your data analysis, and we actually, once we've obtained and conducted our internal audits and training and coaching, once that's all been done, the whole purpose of this is to ensure the organization itself is basically has an increase in efficiency, performances, proficiency, viability, and obviously increase of market share, revenue, and profits, and overall making sure that the organization has a healthy working environment, because that will have an impact in performances. And in turn, we want to have a decrease in overheads, operation running costs, and staff turnover. Now, as a competitive advantage from our perspective, in comparison to our competitors, what we actually offer is we offer basically our clients 6 to 12 months review to ensure that the business plan or the strategy that we've conducted is performing as per forecast by regularly monitoring and reviewing that strategy itself. And finally, I would like to thank the CEO Club, Dr. Tariq and Ms. Sarah and the whole team from the CEO Club. And I also would like to thank everybody here and all the members as well. And thank you very much. If you have any question, please let me know.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I think you have a poll that you like to conduct at this stage, Mr. Tamer.
Yes.
Okay, because let me just share with you. The first poll was that did you experience the business fraud? And I think the poll is going on.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I think 62%. I think is 50-50 right now.
Yes. So I've got 54 yes and 45 as no at the moment. Okay. And then basically I've got a second one is basically, did you find our services would help your business? So the second one is, do you find our services would help your business? So basically that's basically our second one. So
all right. Okay.
So what 66 as yes and 33 as no. Okay. Again, thank you very much, Dr. Tariq.
Okay.
And the team, much appreciated.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Mr. Tamer. And now we move to our second session, which would be Advanta Seeds Shaping the Future of Agriculture. By Mr. Bhupen Dubai. He's the CEO of Advanta Seeds. Let me share something about Mr. Bhupen. He's a successful leader and the CEO of Advanta Seeds, a UPL group company. His leadership is driven by a strong understanding of farmers' need and passion of sustainable agriculture. Mr. Bhupen holds over 30 years of experience in agriculture, supply chain, and food production from companies including Howchest, Optima Agro, and Bayer. Mr. Bhupen has played a vital role in managing and integrating companies within the UPL group, such as Advanta, UPL, Golden Seeds, and Unicorn. He has been driving essential integration to bring profitability and sustainable growth for the UPL business. Under Mr. Bhupen leadership, Advanta Seeds was ranked number 4 in South and Southeast Asia and number 5 in Global Seed Company in Access to Seeds Index in 2019 for contributing to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the food security. Very impressive. So I hand over to Mr. Bhupen for his presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Tariq and the CEO Club team for inviting me for this interaction. I mean, we are missing physical interaction for sure, but technology is coming to our help. So thank you once again. I mean, in the pandemic era, which we all are facing very unusual situation. And when I scan social economic activity globally, I find two type of organizations and societies divided. One part of the society is managing the life, their affair on screen, but possibly there's half the humanity does not have that luxury. We all are part of a privileged club in that sense. We are into the food business. When work from home starts, it's important that food supply chain is maintained. And we consider ourselves very humble, very privileged to serve the humanity by making sure that food supply chain is not interrupted. Nearly 6 to 7 months now into lockdown in different part of the world, on and off somewhere. But one good thing still, we find that there are no food riots yet. That indicates that the food system which we as a humanity build up with the use of science and technology and globalization is serving us well. Food sector, agriculture sector, particularly seed sector are the unsung heroes. Their importance are not being talked about because these are some ingredients which are talked about when they miss right now. And that is where we are part of it. Advanta Seed is a part of the UPL Group. It's an Indian company. We are based out of Dubai, the headquarter. Walk you through some profile. I have about 4 or 5 slides. Our presence is global. You can see it in the map. We have outstanding innovation award, the best innovation company, and variety of awards which we have. The spread in terms of our footprint, if you look at the production site around the world, we have about 24. R&D site about 19, including biotechnology center in USA. Part is in Argentina, a small activity in India. Also commercial activity in more than 84 countries. We are adding a couple of countries every year. Idea is to cross to about 130, 140 in coming years. So global footprint which we have. What important point is that we have out of this number of employees, we have more than 189 employees are in R&D. That is a kind of investment we do. Many of them are PhD in genetics, plant breeding, molecular biology, etc. So there's our profile. Advanta Seed is driving the future of the agriculture. Where the future is, we know that globally, advanced economies like Western Europe, America, they have reached to a plateau. Getting there, the productivity is very, very tough. Australia, New Zealand, these are the countries where getting a 2% productivity up, 1% up is a very, very tough task. While in the part like Latin America, South Asia, Africa, where the productivity levels are very, very low, and our R&D investment is happening there. So what we are doing here is developing a climate smart crops. When we use the word climate smart, what do we mean? It means that in UAE, for example, Dubai, we are right now in UAE. I was reading one article by the policy paper by UAE government. Currently, they produce local food about 10%, 90% they import, and they intend to increase every year 10 to 15% local availability. In another, I think 2030, they intend to have a local production 40% and import 60%. We see in this kind of vision by the UAE and the North African countries and many of the African countries, a big opportunity for us, but also a challenge because this part of the world have a different temperature, different environmental profile. So the plant which we have, let's say corn we are producing in Western Europe or America will not automatically grow here. We need to make it adaptable. The genetics which we have, we need to adapt it here, which can withstand the weather which we have, we are facing is here. What do? We apply molecular breeding techniques along with the genetic engineering to develop the new generation crops, which can withstand high temperature, which can withstand long duration of the drought. So which requires a different kind of profile. We have successfully delivered genetics in tropical region of corns, sorghum, vegetables, in Middle East, Africa, Asia, North and South America. Innovation and new technology, we can constantly work on new genetics and do trials to overcome changing biodiversity, new pests and diseases. With the change in the weather, also new pest appears. The pest which were not the real pest, minor pest becomes a major pest. All of us must have heard the news of locust emanated from a couple of countries in Africa, enter into Pakistan, India. Some of the pests like fall armyworm started covering almost all the globe, corn growing areas. So how the pest profile is also changing. We have speed to market approach and innovative breeding technology allow us to bring the right genetics all hour of the need of the farmer. Advanta Seed footprint in UAE and MENA, especially where we are here. New technology which we are introduced, is a Zeba technology. One of the important component of production is a water. We know it, and globally, 70% of the fresh water is consumed in agriculture. We believe that without impacting the outcome of productivity, biomass per hectare, we can reduce this consumption from, let's say, 70% to 60, 50 and below that. There are possibilities and technologies are being developed. We have developed a technology called Zeba, which is made from, is a patented technology by our group, which is core component is a corn starch, very natural. But the particles are arranged in such a manner that this has the ability to absorb between 250 times to 500 times of water. In other words, if you take 1 kg Zeba, it can hold between 250 liter to 500 liter of water and releases as and when the plant want, right? So for example, there is a rain today, and let's say tomato plant require every week water, or every 5 days water. But if you apply Zeba, you can really delay it for 3, 4, 5 days. In Dubai, there are a lot of villa here. A lot of people love plants and they have a lawn at home and they have to keep sprinkling water every day. And the water bills are very, very high. And a lot of trials are happening here. Right now, our technology development team, they are developing the protocol and methodology which will fit in here. And we are in the process of launching that product. We already got a registration. So that is where we are. Second, we got encouraged with the vision of the government here. In UAE currently, there are, and that for that matter in Africa also, not much of infrastructure has developed for R&D, trialing, testing, seed production, seed processing, seed packaging has not happened yet. We are very proud to share with the member of the CEO club here. We are the first company in a seed biotech sector where we invested our capex. We cleared. In fact, last week we set up a very cold storage facility. We set up in Kizad, brand new. Some of you are we are planning to inaugurate in a week or 10 days time. Some of the stock also is on the way. We will have a first storage opening, seed storage, cold storage opening in UAE. Latest technology of the climate control cold storage to preserve and and condition the seed to the highest quality standard of ISTA and OECD. Subsequently, we have a capex in line where we will be setting up a processing plant here, and also slowly and steadily, once we have a portfolio defined for UAE, we will do a production also here. That is our vision. What we are doing in collaboration, there is an institute and I was really amazed to discover about it. ICBA, is a research institute in Dubai. They have one of the highest collection of germplasm of the crop being grown in UAE as well as in North Africa. Now, this germplasm, which is available in the wild, or the farmers are using it for many, many years or generations. So our breeders are planning to have a collaboration with ICBA, and that partnership, we intend to develop the crop which will withstand the weather here, the environment, very harsh environment here, and still produce the productivity and the taste and the nutrition at par with the product which is being imported here. So these are the initiative. And when I got an invite here for this call, I said, now we have a lot of activity to showcase here and share with our members. We participated in a sustainability agriculture solution, and we made a presentation on what we are doing, the technology here, and we got a prize there as a part of our recognition. There are 3 important words all of us keep hearing in various organizations. Number 1, food security, nutritional security, and sustainability. The current pandemic is bringing a deeper meaning to all the 3 words. So we started asking ourselves, what does it mean for us? What does it mean food security for us? What are we delivering to the area we operate in? What does it mean the nutritional security? Like sometimes enough quantum is available, but that food available does not have the required nutrition, like the iron or zinc and all this component, and therefore we end up buying the multivitamin and supplements, etc. So can we have a crop which can replace these activities, the pharmaceutical activity, by supplements, etc., and plant itself can give us what we require? Are the ideas on table, and our R&D team is working and developing the projects on similar line. Advanta hybrid seeds warehouse and the cold storage facility in Kizad. Some of the photographs here for members who are interested. I think in a week or 10 days time we will be ready to receive. Most welcome. At the end I will provide you our contact detail, etc. Have a look at it, and most welcome to visit our facilities. Advanta is aligned with the MOCCAE vision, mission, and the values. The point which I mentioned is this MO is a Ministry of Climate Change and Environment. Now they have developed their own vision and the values, and we when we were reading it, we realized that we are the fit organization here to partner with them, and then we are working in the direction. While we are present in 84 countries around the world, we believe that UAE, MENA, and CIS are the region for us to invest in CapExes, opening new R&D to develop the portfolio which are fit for this market. And because from business perspective, we also see a huge opportunity. These are the region we believe that our team believes that we can grow every year 30 to 40% because base level is so low. Most of these geography are importing their seed either from India or from Western Europe or from America. When you go to the seed market, Align and all, when you go to the distributor and dealer, I see most of the product is coming from Western Europe, India, Australia, or USA. And we believe that we can replace all this and we can start supplying locally here. So these are the area we are going to invest heavily in coming years. So that's it from my side. I won't take much of time. Here is our email ID is there here. I don't see it. Is there. Hema is managing our office. Email is available. Contact is available. For any further query or any questions, feel free. We have office in JLT. Most welcome to have a cup of tea with me and my management team if you want to interact further and know more about it. That's it with this. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I hope I have not taken more time than allocated to me.
No, thank you very much, Mr. Bhupen. I think definitely agriculture is something is a booming industry, especially in this current time, and definitely this is something that we also look into, that homegrown things is much better than imported. So I wish you all the best, and especially the new technology and new things that you have mentioned. For the UAE, I think that we all are looking forward, and definitely we like to visit to your Kazat location when it's safe to move around, and definitely we will like to visit your site here. Thank you very much, Mr. Bhupen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move to our third topic, which is the budget-friendly interior design projects insight and implementations post-COVID-19. This would be presented by Ms. Priyaa Telavvane, the founder and managing partner of 361-Degree Design Solution. Let me share with you in regards to Ms. Priyaa. She's the founder and managing partner of a 361 Degrees Design Solution. Is an award-winning entrepreneur, architect, interior design, and fit-out expert with international career spanning over 15 years, skilled in creating and delivering unique interior spaces to tell their brand story. She has worked across the globe with the reputable interior design firms and gained valuable experience before she became the entrepreneur and founder of 361 Degree Design Team. She believes in dreams, big dreams, and work towards is to make them reality. So over to you, Priyaa, for your presentation.
Hello, everyone. And after this two excellent speakers, it's my turn. And I hope you all have energy to listen to me and listen to what is happening in our interior design industry due to COVID-19, like post-COVID-19, I can say that. So my company name is 361. Most of the time people ask me why 361, and 360 is a holistic solution. It's a complete solution. People say that 1 degree of extra creativity and the service which we provide to the clients. That's why the name is 361 Degrees Design Solutions. And we are into interior design and build services. And guess what? 2020 is special for us because we have completed 10 successful years this year. So yeah, and our slogan is design with passion and build with excellence. So today I'm going to tell you about 361, a bit of ourselves, that we are design consultants, we are design and fit out experts, we are contractors, you can call it as, and we are project managers. So all with an extra degree of passion, innovation, and dedication. And this is all related to interior design, because most of the time people ask me that, do you do the architectural work? Do you do the construction work? No, we do all the works related to interiors. So inside the spaces, if there is any structural work or there is any construction work related, like civil work related, definitely we do it. So there are so many interior design and fit out companies, and they are doing extremely well in the market. So what was the prime reason that we have started with the 361 degrees? So the first and the foremost thing I would like to mention is that you must have heard a lot of times that, people are disappointed by the services. The designer has not done well, or the contractors has not delivered the project in time. The cost has increased. They have neglected the approvals. The project has delayed, and they don't care about the sustainability, green environment. And now the most important thing is post-COVID planning and designing. So this all things, when we have noticed while working with really good established firms, we thought that there is a disparity between the designers, client, contractors. So let's build everything together and give them, key-to-key solution where the client can be very happy and do peacefully their work, and we can do what they have visualized for that space. As I correctly mentioned, that we built a better way. So it's all about our clients. So we listen to the clients, we listen to their requirements, and we come up with the unique concept which can actually explain their brand story to people. And then they can be free to focus on their business, and this is how we work. When I talk about the unique concept, so all the concepts are economically sustainable, I can call it as, and we definitely take care of all the rules, regulations, and the approval process. So everything is quite systematic, everything is quite organized in the firm, and that's how we can confidently say that we delivered our projects in unbelievable timelines, because we are very well versed and very well experienced in what we do. So now how the exact, definitely before the COVID-19, the situation was different, and how we have actually gained that change. So the clients, we used to listen to the clients, we used to learn about their business and what they are into. Then there was a support, and then the sustainability was definitely one of the key elements. Then the budgets, we used to be very transparent. We used to do value engineering if the budget is less, or if then there are a lot of ways we used to help them to minimize the cost and minimize the delays in the process. Sustainability, we are, I can say that, experience in designing the LEED green interior spaces. We are very well aware of the green concept, the green solutions, eco-friendly functions, then eco-friendly sustainable materials, and we try to educate our clients and promote these all materials, that they should use it. Because at the end of the day, that is going to help the environment. That's going to be a future of the green environment. Now, how the things have changed when we talk about the COVID-19 situation. Of course, it has affected all the industries, and our industry was affected, but the work was still going on. The construction industry was still working during the lockdown and during this complete situation. So what has basically changed from before? And that's actually the major points. There are drastic points actually. So the client, basically they have revised their budgets. So they have a particular budget and maybe the budgets are now half of what they had before. So now client need a trustworthy partner. They just don't want anybody or everybody to do their work, but they want trustworthy companies who are registered, who can take the approvals, who can do the project in time, and who can use the quality products. Then the correct guidance. Now clients are actually looking for the correct guidance, that how the process will be and how many days they are going to take to complete their project, and how much the cost and how the cost can be, lowered down. Then the post-COVID-19 planning and designing. When we talk about planning and designing, there are a lot of aspects. There are a lot of points which we are going to implement in terms of the designing and the planning in commercial as well as residential projects. So what will happen is that will actually give a confidence to the client that, okay, fine, in this kind of a situation also they are completely covered or they are completely protected. And that's how they go ahead and do or that accept that planning or the designing. The budget, as I mentioned, that the prices are getting lower and lower, and the suppliers are also struggling to get the supplies in time because of the traveling restrictions and the other things. So the timelines have become tight because everybody is now really worried about the timelines. Like they want to finish the project, they want to complete, they want to start their business, so they will start earning. And they need more services. Like previously, people were buying like one service and they were paying certain amount. And now people need like two services in that same amount. So there are a few changes, drastic changes have come up. And in terms of a sustainability, now you will be really surprised to know that people are more aware of the green concept, and they want real plants in the house. They want real plants in the garden. They want to have that green areas inside their offices. They want those green areas inside their retail stores as well, because what has happened is people have realized that if they are into controlled environment and they will not able to go out, what happens? So you need to have a greenery around you to make you feel pleasing, make you feel fresh. And there are different aspects because the colors play a very important role in interiors. So and then the post-COVID designing, definitely we are getting inquiries from a lot of corporate offices and a lot of villas where people are conscious about this post-COVID designing, and they want to incorporate those points when they're designing or they're modifying their space. So which all sectors, because many a times people keep on asking us, we are specialized in which sector. So I would rather not mention one sector that we are specialized in, but I would rather mention that we have done work in the corporate offices sector, healthcare, education, food and beverage, hospitality, retail, residential. So pretty much everything. We have done the warehouses, we have done the art galleries. So anything I can say which is creative, which is inclined towards the design and fit out, we have completed those projects successfully. So budget friendly, what that means? So many a times people think that budget friendly means what? Like, am I going to get something which is like a package and I will buy it and everything, whatever I have thought that is going to be included in the package? Not really, but something similar. So what happens is now everybody do have their own setups. So the existing setup is there, whether it's a residential or commercial project or a retail project. Okay, but people want to modify it. People want the new look. People want to have trends to be incorporated in that space. So the other clients or the other customers get attracted towards their retail outlet, or for the corporate office, the clients get to see a very beautiful space. So because of that, what exactly we have started is the budget-friendly solutions we have started giving to all our clients. where there will be existing furniture, the main structure will be the same, the ceiling will be the same, flooring will be the same. What we are going to do is the innovation in terms of a new material. We'll introduce few new materials, new look and new feel in terms of the colors, in terms of accessories, elements, and new trends. So what will happen is the space is the same, but after this few changes, the space starts looking completely different, and you will feel that difference. You will feel the energy levels have gone up because there are few colors introduced, and there are accessories introduced, there are green elements introduced in that space. So this is what I call it as a budget friendly, where you're not spending much, you're getting what you have envisioned for. And third important part is you actually get a new setup, in terms of look, I can say, the new setup in that smaller budget. So this is actually a small example of a villa or residential project, which I would like to give, because the examples will make you clear, that particular concept. So what happened is, in this villa, they already had the furniture, and then the walls are there, the TV unit was there pretty much, but the only thing is they didn't have any bar. And they wanted to incorporate bar, and then they realized that their finishes are different. Everything is completely different in terms of a finish, different in terms of the colors, and it's not looking like a whole space together. So to tie up that complete space together, where you feel like it's a living, dining, and a stunning bar, but the place is very, I can say, warm, comfortable, and peaceful, because that was the client's main aim. So if you see that we have actually introduced the accessories, and we have introduced the wall coverings, we have introduced the cushions, the fabrics, the light fixtures, and there are minimal changes which we have done to the space, and then the space is going to transform completely. And each and every space, as per requirements and as per the budget, we have a color palette which we develop looking at the entire setup. And we stick with that color palette, and then we try to see, how we can implement those elements and make that space beautiful. And I'm sure that everyone is looking for that. So if you all are not aware that our sites are not really beautiful looking when we start the work, so if you see that there are a few examples of our sites, like how they look look really ugly when nothing is there on the side. But this is a raw site where we actually can envision the future there, and we can come up with the creative ideas. So after this site and concept, then we derive to the 2D design layout, then the design details, approvals, quotation. This is a few examples of the 3Ds, like how we make for residential projects. So each and every part we make like 3D views, where we communicate with client and put actual materials and give them the same results when they have it. And then the office commercial project, then we have a mood, sorry. This is a mood board, like where we actually introduce all the materials, and that the client can feel and look at the materials, approve it, and then they get what they have, what we have promised them. So this is the complete process in short. Now I will just run through quickly few projects which are really dear to us, and of course all projects are very dear to us, and we give the same kind of what I say, importance to all our clients. But these are the projects which I would like to showcase today. So this is Aster's corporate office, which we have designed, and then it's a 35,000 square feet, a lavish office. And the concept is, because they are into healthcare, the concept is to be healthy inside the office space, because if you see that there is a running track which we had introduced, and There are a few green elements, green areas which we have introduced. So how we actually tell the brand story through the interiors for the client. These are a few more pictures. Then we have done this facility for MOH, Ministry of Health, where they had a particular requirement, and we could fit in that requirement. Then there is another, then there is another this office where there is a lot of openness and open office. So like this open offices now, because of the COVID situation, we will definitely have to do the changes in terms of having the screens, having the perfect distance between two people, and for the future expansion. So we always give a flexibility in the design. So now if you see this open office have so much of a flexibility that they can actually adhere to all the regulations due to the post-COVID designing and planning, and they don't have to change much in their office. So these things are already, you can say, taken care unknowingly. So this way, we have helped the client to achieve their post-COVID designing and planning, and they literally have to spend a very little amount to make that happen. This is another office where we have renovated this office by keeping few things as it is and give them a new look. And I can call it as a budget-friendly offices, which we have done it. Then the food and beverages, we have done a lot of outlets, but these are a few of the outlets. This is a V-shake kiosks, which we have done. They are very green. They are very I can say the natural material. We have done this ice catering cafe. We have done many restaurants and I can say cafes. A few of them. We have done retail stores as well. So Astor Pharmacies, we have designed, I think more than 300 pharmacies so far all over GCC. Then we have done optical stores. We have designed the art gallery. We have designed the jewelry store, clothing store. So as I correctly mentioned, like we haven't left anything that we haven't designed. Like all the fields we have designed. In hospitality, we have designed salons, spas. In facility also, we have done work where we are giving a complete different set of designs to enhance the universities or the colleges corridors, where it can become a very much interactive spaces rather than the normal lonely corridors where they are plain corridors, nothing is happening and there's nothing. I mean, it's just a corridor, right? So we had made the corridors interesting by providing them the solution, and this is a really interesting thing. Then for the residential, we have done the apartments, we have done the villas. So yeah, I mean, the change we have achieved, what I can say is a plus point for 361 is we are industry leaders. Then we have a repeated clients. Then we have expanded our reach as we are doing work not only in UAE but in Africa, in India, in USA. So that's something we really like. And like to tell you about. Then we have received few awards, few features. So what is so important in 361, because every company have their core values and the way they work. So for us, innovation is very, very important point, and we keep on innovating, keep on coming up with new things. And we are very, very much learning with whatever is coming new in the market. We are very creative, and creativity is one of the key elements of 361 degrees design solutions and transformation. So focus, communication, implementation, innovation, creativity, growth, achievement, as social and environmental responsibility. So if you can see that these are all our core values of the company, and we believe in that and we follow that. These are a few of our clients. So I'll quickly run you through the clients. This is the office which we would like to share. This is 361 Degrees office. What I want to emphasize on that we have actually used recycled materials. We have a green wall in the office, though our office is not like a huge space, but we have incorporated all the points which we talk about and which we tell our client to implement. So what 361 has done new, so during this COVID situation, I have realized that the kids are at home and the kids have so much less things to do. You know, they have a few online things, they watch TV, they play on the iPad, but what else they can do? So we have come up with an exciting workshop for the teenage girls, where we are going to introduce them to interior design. Because if you see that people always want, you know, the doctor, engineer, and the other stuff, and they know about those fields. But I feel that the interior design, people don't know exactly what is called interior design. People think that, okay, fine, it's the design, and then you implement that design, then you choose the fabric. But how does that happen? So that entire process, you know, we have actually put it in the workshop, and the workshops are starting from 22nd of August, this Saturday, and I'm super excited for that. So anybody around you interested, they would definitely should join us for this workshop. And yes, sorry. So yeah, that's it from me. And if people have asked some questions, maybe I'm going to answer them quickly. So, okay, what are some post-COVID design changes required for the corporate office or the residential? So it is definitely depending on the space, and the points will change as per your space. But there are major points which I would like to highlight is when it comes to the corporate office, there has to be a certain distance between the two employees. The screens has to be, you have to put the screens between the two employees if they have face-to-face desks. And another thing is your reception desk and your entrance. Your entrance should have all the sanitizing equipments, the temperature control equipment, and there should be a distance of 1.5 meter from your main entrance to your reception at least. So if somebody is coming, your receptionist can see, and then she can you know, talk to them and take action. Even for the reception area, I have mentioned to a lot of corporate offices that if you cannot put the screen on the top because of the reception desk design, they can put it from the ceiling. So the receptionist actually can get a complete, I can say, shield. So these are the few things, but if I can visit the office and I can quickly give you the overview, I can make the changes, because if on the flooring also we can do some markings, and we can make some circles where people know that, okay, fine, within this circle, you know, I have to stand and I have to talk to my colleague. So there are many things, but I will not able to explain it to you. But definitely, if you would like us to visit your office and give you some ideas, we are open for that. And in terms of a residential project, what we try to do is main is the shoe rack, where you are putting your shoe rack, and where is your main entry, and where is your, if you have an entry from the garage, then there are few points which we can mention, but this implement if you have a villa. If you have an apartment, then how much distance you should have from your entrance door to your shoe rack, and how the transition should happen from your shoes to your powder room, and then how you can, you know, enter your main house. So these all the changes, these are actually not like major changes, but they are small changes. But if you do it well, as per your space requirement, of course, then I think they will be really beneficial for you. I hope I would be able to answer that. I think I can see only one question. If you have any other question, feel free to ask. Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you very much, Priya. I think that's good to know that the environment and the greenery are one of the priorities of everybody now. That's a good thing to know. And I think I'm sure you might be getting new inquiries at home making office, because everybody working from home. So I think you have to come up with the concept of new development, especially how to make an office at home.
Yeah, actually, I have put a video on Instagram where I have given 6 important tips to have your home office, and that's really helped because people have actually replied me back that they could actually implement those 6 tips and they can do the office well, the home office.
I see. All right. Okay, good. No, thank you very much for your presentation. We just have 1 or 2 questions due to the time. So if I can request all the panelists to have their video and audio on. I have a question for Mr. Tamer. We have a question from UK, Mr. Asif, that how would you create a KPI-driven culture to boost data literacy across an organization?
Yes, very good question, Mr. Asif. Now, there's a couple steps or strategies to do with that. One, making sure that you have a very good, healthy work culture, and ensuring that the leader, either the senior manager, are basically able to have a proper leadership where he or she is able to support his staff. Now, a couple of things, it comes all back to leadership, because if that senior manager does not have the right leadership, it will not be achieved. So the leadership we're talking about is basically providing the support what the employees require, so making sure what the gaps and making sure that they actually fulfill that gap. And 2, creating the incentive strategy. So basically, first of all, look, if we do meet the KPI, there'll be incentive that you have employee of the week or employee of the month, or you may give gifts or give a package as a 2 days holiday in a certain hotel, etc., etc. Now, what we've noticed, the recognition of employees goes a mile. So without any financial incentives, having the recognition, recognizing these employees that, look, Mr. A or Mrs. B did a fantastic job as an employee of the month, and this is the employee of the month as a recognition, that really goes miles. That definitely goes miles. So I hope I have actually answered that question.
Okay, no, thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Bhupen, can you, how do you feel about this vertical farming? I think that's the way of the future is, when your seeds and you think, how do you see the vertical farming business in coming?
I think that is a very, very interesting concept coming up nicely in UAE. There are a few projects already there, you may be aware, hydroponic agriculture, vertical farming. And issue is a bit, I think the technology being deployed there are very high, and therefore the break-even is a challenge at this point in time. But to my mind, the way things are happening, like, let's say cost of traveling, cost of stock, the logistics, etc., going up with the environment sensitivity going various countries. I'm not too sure whether air travel will be as cheaper as last 20 years. That goes up dramatically, because with the carbon markets coming up, carbon credit markets coming up, and I think a lot of upheaval is likely to happen. In that case, the carbon dioxide pumping industries will have to buy their carbon credits. Agriculture can provide that carbon credit, right? And because we are the one who raise the plants, we consume the carbon dioxide and release the oxygen, is a basic science, right? So now the markets are evolving in Brazil and a couple of countries in Europe. Very interesting development. Carbon sequestration is happening, carbon markets are happening. As a result of that, I do believe that the trend which you are talking about will accelerate further. In fact, I have this in my mind. Our team, we were discussing last week. Let's have a pilot project in UAE, and we set up one small unit and I see how the economics work out in this market, right? But the current data which we have captured doesn't make it viable. But going forward, I think macro change happening in next 3, 4, 5 years time, it can be very interesting proposition. And in that case, UAE will be producing a lot of stuff locally.
I think that's the way to go. I think so. Definitely, domestic grown products is definitely, it always works and is more fresher and more healthier than anything importing into any country of the world. I'm sure you agree with me. Yeah.
With the localization movement is happening. Food grown locally. I think supermarkets start giving a premium to that. Let's say I'm giving example. Tomato in UAE supermarkets import from Netherlands, and then you see entire travel of the tomato from a farm of one farmer in Netherlands to the superstore in a supermarket in Dubai, and because a lot of cost calculations are not part of it, and the entire travel, the CO2 being pumped into the environment we consider as a free. The moment that activity is captured by the creative chartered accountants and make it a complete cost, in that case, that becomes a little more costlier than the local production which we carry out in this kind of technologies, right? Like we all big towers we have in UAE, all this tower we can make it tower gardens, right? Each top floor can generate enough tomato to feed entire tower. So technologies are available, and in terms of nutrition and taste, I have in my balcony, I'm growing right now okra, my own companies, because I'm fond of it. Rather than ornamental plant, I have planted 2 okra, 2 chili, 2 brinjal. You just pluck it, take your kitchen and cut and eat, and the flavor and the freshness, you simply can't imagine, because we lost that. All right. So I think things are not far. I see 4 or 5 years that kind of revolution is likely to happen. We don't want to be behind, and therefore I was very excited when I got an invite. Rather than making a normal presentation, I said, let me say, our team is highly excited. So we want to be part of this journey, and it's interesting journey, exciting journey. Technology is available. It's a question of you deploying it and making it viable. Markets will have to work for that.
No. Definitely, there's something else that I will talk to you that I have an idea. But I agree with you. Let's say I give you example of tomato, that is coming from Netherlands to UAE. I think before you see on your table, it will take probably a minimum week to 2 weeks, and a local grown you will see in 24 hours on here. So we can all imagine the freshness of any product. But I like to thank, we crossed our time limit, but I appreciate and I hope we all learn from today's webinar. And I like to thank all the presenters, Mr. Bhupen, Mr. Tamer, and Ms. Priyaa. And most of all, I like to thank the participant for their valuable time. And I hope that we all learned something today to be healthy, live in a good environment, and run a good business. So we had all 3 people of that, valuable members. I like to thank again. And we all have to stay healthy and be safe, and wherever we are, So have a nice day. And I'm going to end this webinar. And thank you very much for everyone to participate.
My pleasure.
Thank you for arranging it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you.